Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Ray back with another very special video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the mistakes I made with my very first dropshipping store. The things that I wish I would have known, I wish somebody would have told me going into this dropshipping journey and this e-commerce journey, and some of the major mistakes that I made that led my store to just crashing and burning, that led me to my Facebook account being completely disabled, and that led me, to basically have to, figure out an alternative way to run paid advertisings to my next e-commerce store. Hopefully this video will help some new e-commerce dropshipping entrepreneurs who are looking to get in the game, who are very optimistic, as you should be. But this is gonna kind of give you some things on what not to do with your very first successful dropshipping store. Hopefully you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Before we get into this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. The mistakes I made with my very first dropshipping store, and as you guys know, I always have the list on deck. The very first mistake that I made, and something that I wish I knew, was the PayPal hold. Now, anyone who's been dropshipping and moved to branding, or who's done e-commerce before in the past, they all know about the infamous PayPal hold. What is the PayPal hold? Well, when your store first starts making money, you have to obviously set up your Shopify payments and set up your PayPal account to accept payments from customers. Typically, when you get your first PayPal transaction, you'll get notified by PayPal that, hey, you just got a PayPal transaction. Congratulations, set up the PayPal account to receive this payment. You're all excited because you just got your first PayPal transaction. It could have been your first sale and it was done with PayPal. PayPal will actually hold your first few transactions for a number of days. Literally, this is terrifying, especially when you're drop shipping, because you don't have the inventory on hand and you need access to the revenue to fulfill your order. PayPal has this rule of thumb that with every new PayPal account, they want to hold the funds that come into it. I think it's for 20 something plus days. Okay, they want to hold the funds for 20 something plus days just to make sure that you're not scamming people and that your customers, are in good hands. Once again, when you're drop shipping, this is obviously a huge problem because you need every penny of revenue that you get so that you can purchase, the product and send it to your customer. When you don't have access to those funds, you're basically screwed. My first very successful store, I ended up having roughly $7,000 on hold with PayPal that I needed to fulfill orders, okay? And it was absolutely terrifying. This is something that I wish I knew going into drop shipping, because I feel like if you knew this, maybe you could take some preventive measures, like making sure you have some cash saved, to fulfill orders just in case you experience this issue with PayPal. If you're new to drop shipping, PayPal will hold your revenue for sometimes over 30 plus days. Now, there are ways to get around this and to get your funds released faster. I'm not gonna go into them all in this video. One thing that you can do is, if you do have some cash put aside, or maybe you get some revenue from your Shopify payments that didn't come from PayPal or weren't transacted with PayPal, you can take that money and fulfill your PayPal transactions first. Then, if you can add the tracking number into the order on PayPal, they will release the funds sooner. So that is a way to get around it, and there are actually a bunch of different ways, different business information that you can add if your business is a registered, LLC, or registered, has its own EIN number, whatever it may be. You can add this information to speed up the PayPal holding process. But man, I wish I knew about this PayPal hold before I got into e-commerce, because it led to a bunch of other consecutive problems that I'm gonna talk about in this video. Moving on, number 2, okay, the mistakes I made with my very first successful dropshipping store and what I wish I knew. I wish I knew more about Aliexpress shipping times, okay? Now, this is huge, and once again leads to further complication. Everybody knows, if you have any experience with e-commerce and drop shipping, that Aliexpress shipping times are absolutely awful. I'm talking, you know, on average 30 plus days for your customers to get their product. Not only does it take 30 plus days for your product to get to the customer, but it takes another 7 days just for the product to be shipped from the Aliexpress manufacturer. Obviously, you can imagine the problems that comes with. Customers are pissed. Your customers will get mad at you. They will give you a low feedback score on your Facebook page. They will leave nasty comments under your Facebook video. Now, when you're new to drop shipping, you're just excited to make a buck, right? You're excited when you get your very first sale. It's all very new, setting up the Shopify store, putting all these apps into your store, setting up the Facebook, you know, getting acclimated with Facebook Ads Manager. You're just inundated with stuff that you rarely think about at the actual fulfillment process. But once you start getting money coming in, and if it starts coming in fast, if you have a great store and a product is great, man, you realize very quickly the problem with shipping from Aliexpress. I wish I would have known that sooner, that it takes 30 plus days on average to get your products from Aliexpress to the end consumer, and this causes a lot of problems in your business. Really makes it hard to, you know, create a long-term sustainable business if you're drop shipping from Aliexpress. Number 3, what I wish I knew before I got into drop shipping. And this one I'm sure has happened to a lot of seasoned drop shippers. Once you know, I feel like we all go through the same issues, man. People just need to speak on it more. But I definitely wish I knew this, and this is a huge mistake I made. Getting backlogged on order fulfillment. This is huge, and this is kind of even a trickle down from the first one with the PayPal holds. Because obviously when your money's on hold, it's very easy to get backlogged in order fulfillment because you don't have the cash to even fulfill your order. With my very first successful dropshipping store, and I mean, this is a store that on its best before everything kind of went to turmoil, it was doing 40K a month in revenue. Scaling wise, was on the way to doing a lot more if it hadn't been for, you know, the store getting shut down and my ad account being shut down as well. I was extremely backlogged on orders. I mean, we're talking like a month behind. This led to a lot of problems. Number one, you know, I started getting chargebacks on my Shopify account. And Shopify obviously doesn't like when you have a high chargeback percentage rate, so they actually penalize you for that and put a hold on your Shopify payments account as well. Not only are you now dealing with PayPal holds, but you will eventually have to deal with Shopify payment holds as customers begin to ask for refunds, customers begin to charge back the purchase, and all hell just breaks. Hey guys, if I could recommend anything, it's, you know, at the beginning of your dropshipping journey, if your store gets to the point where you're making consistent revenue, make sure you're fulfilling orders, you know, if possible, you know, the moment you get them, okay? Like, seriously, stay on that stuff because, you know, it's easy to think that you have time, like, oh, I got 10 orders today, I'll just, you know, fulfill it, you know, tomorrow or 2 days from now or whatever it may be. It's easy to get backlogged on orders, and that leads to turmoil, man. That leads to what inevitably happened to me, which is your business getting shut down. So what I wish I knew is to not let orders backlog. If you could stay on those orders, fulfill them as soon as you get them, that's probably going to be the best practice. All right, guys, number 4 on what I wish I knew and the mistakes I made with my very first successful drop shipping store. I guarantee you 95% of people who get into drop shipping are going to make this mistake because it's hard not to make. Number 4, spending your earnings, okay? Man, this is one of the toughest ones because a lot of people I know, especially for me, like I wanted to get into drop shipping because I seen these guys on social media and on the internet, you know, driving Lamborghini, wearing Gucci, all this designer stuff, and it's hard not to get caught up in, you know, that lifestyle and wanting to replicate it. You will find out very quickly that that's not the best practice, especially if your margins are poor. My very first successful dropshipping store, I ended up spending way too much of the earnings, which also led to like my orders being backlogged. Because I was spending a lot of the revenue that I was getting in, and I wasn't prioritizing order fulfillment, which I should have, which I know it's a dumb rookie mistake, because you have all this money coming in, you're just like, oh, I made $1,000 this day, I make $1,000 tomorrow, I can go out and afford to spend, you know, a couple hundred. Bad idea, okay? Do not, and I repeat, please do not spend your revenue, all right? And it's very tempting to do, especially when you're making money with ease, $1,000 a day, whatever it may be, $1,300. There's people doing way more than that, but I'm talking about for beginners. Please do not make a habit of spending that money and buying things. It's okay to reward yourself, but don't make it a consistent habit, because what you're gonna do is, once again, when you're drop shipping, those earnings need to be used to fulfill your orders, okay? And if you're spending that money, you're obviously not gonna have the money that you need to fulfill orders. You're eventually gonna get backlogged, and there's just, it's like the domino effect. The dominoes will all just start leading to one thing after another, and eventually what will happen to you, just like what happened to me, is that your fucking business will get shut down. I can almost guarantee. Do not spend your earnings, and if you do, be practical about it. Don't overdo it. Don't try to go out and buy some crazy, you know, $2,000 belt. And the only way I would recommend you do that is if, you know, you've ordered in bulk, you've increased your margins by a significant amount to where maybe you're making 50 cents per, or, you know, 50% per transaction, you know, then you can actually start pocketing some cash. But at the time, like for my first successful dropshipping store, my margins were razor thin. There really wasn't much wiggle room for me to just go and spend money all willy-nilly. That was the dumbest thing I could have possibly done, and I wish I knew that before I got started. So that is number 4. All right, guys, number 5 on what I wish I knew, the mistakes I made with my very first successful dropshipping store. Number 5 is probably the most important. And the reason I say it's probably the most important is because we're not drop shipping just to be in business for 2 months to 3 months to, you know, 6 months. We're drop shipping to inevitably build a sustainable business that's, you know, a sustainable brand that's gonna, you know, be operatable for years to come, and maybe even sell it off eventually. We're drop shipping for the long term, you know. So number 5, I tried ordering in bulk a little bit too late. Tried branding a little bit too late in the game. Now, what I recommend is, you know, once your product and your website is proven to generate consistent revenue, you need to be trying to buy in bulk as soon as possible. Do not wait. And this is something I wish I knew with my very first successful dropshipping store. The sooner you're able to start branding the product and purchase in bulk, the more sustainable your business will be in the long run. And this arguably eliminates, you know, if you're able to do this, this eliminates all the other issues that I just previously mentioned, okay? If you're able to buy a few hundred units in bulk and get them here, you know, before, you know, 2 months, let's just say, of running your business, you're gonna be in good shape, because then you'll be able to cut down on your shipping times dramatically increase your profit margins, and then you'll be in pretty good shape. Your customers won't be happy, they won't be pissed off, they won't be leaving nasty Facebook comments under your advertising video. Man, I wish I knew this before getting started. I wish I knew this. Order in bulk the moment your product is proven to generate consistent revenue, okay? Brand your freaking store as soon as possible. That's the only way that you will see longevity in this game, okay? And there you guys have it, man. That is everything I wish I knew, you know, before getting started in dropshipping. And those are the mistakes I made with my very first successful store. Like I said, my very first successful store, on our best month, we did 40K in revenue. That's the most money I had ever made in such a short time period. I just didn't know what to do, and I made a lot of mistakes. Now, moving forward with my current store, I'm trying my best to not replicate those same mistakes, because man, it was tough digging myself out of that hole. Eventually, when that store shut down, I was stuck, you know, refunding customers. My PayPal account was put on hold. It was just an absolute mess, and I ended up coming out of pocket thousands of dollars just to get back to break even. So please, guys, heed those warnings, do things the right way. Sure, it may take a little bit more time. Sure, you're not gonna be able to get the Lambo, next week. But I promise you, with patience, you can build something really truly beautiful and sustainable over the long term. And man, that's the best avenue to go. Do not make those mistakes I made. There you guys have it. Your boy Ray, Elite Millennials. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As I continue to grow this channel, I want to make sure I'm bringing you guys grade A content. Oh yeah, and follow my Instagram at Ray Williams. I'll put it somewhere here below. Follow me on Instagram. And once again, my goal for this channel is to build a tribe of elite millennials who are working their ass off, who are entrepreneurs, who are crushing in their careers, millennials who want to eventually be the future top 1%. Okay, so let's keep going, guys. Let's keep hustling, keep going for our goals, and we will not lose. All right, there you have it, your boy Ray. Peace.